Hey, hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to the show today. It's your buddy Uncle Bruce. Your Stock Markets with Bruce is the name of the channel. We talk about stock markets in plain English. We are coming in here to Monday, March the 27th, 2023, the last Monday of March. The first quarter is about to be gone and we're going into April. Can you fathom that? Already 3 months of the new year is gone. Getting old real fast here. It's unbelievable. Welcome all. Hope you're staying young out there. Welcome to the show. We've got, as usual, a whole bunch of stuff to tell you about. Number one thing is we're looking good for, the Dow up 209 points. Is it great? No, but it's not bad. So, okay. We're up 25 on S&P. We're up 38 on NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is lagging the market. It's only a 0.3 of a percentage point. The Dow's up almost 0.2%. Crude oil up $1.27 a barrel this morning to $70.54. The reason the market is higher is because there wasn't another crisis over the weekend that came out. There was nothing. There was no report of a major problem anywhere. So another shoe didn't fall. Okay, so it's a relief rally. It's a relief that, well, thank God the banking thing seems to be a lot quieter today than it was last weekend. Heard that First Citizens is buying up the assets or most of the assets of Silicon Valley Bank. They're taking over the branches. They're going to run the retail systems. And so the clients at Silicon Valley Bank now have a banker to talk to on that 800 telephone call or whatever business card from whatever individual they have. Likely their banker is still there, employed now by First Citizens. Over the next month or two or three, there will be a lot of reorganization. There'll be a lot of changes, but First Citizens is going to make it as easy as possible. They want to keep the accounts. They want to keep all those clients, attract clients back maybe that left for a while, maybe would come back again. And it's all a matter of just what First Citizens can offer the clients, the former clients of Silicon Valley Bank. Okay, so that is kind of done. There's all kinds of guarantees and there's all kinds of protection for First Citizens. And so those shares are up for First Citizens. Shares of other banks are higher because that problem seems to have been absorbed by the banking business with the Fed stepping in, the Treasury with a lot of oomph behind it. Okay, great. Money is safe in your bank. That's good news. Friday, I talked about Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank was coming up, the second largest bank in Germany. There were rumors of problems. There are no problems. The rumors have been squashed. The German government has, through a very subtle way, without making a big fuss about it. There are no congressional hearings in Germany about banking. Basically, the central bank of Germany, the federal, Bundesbank, whatever they call over there, has basically said there's no problems here. No depositors have any issues. You want to withdraw your money from Deutsche Bank, knock yourself out. Take it. All you want, no problem. That problem went away Friday night. There's no problem here. So that's the end of that one. Nothing has been said anywhere. Switzerland, of course, has gone through all kinds of turmoil. The number 2 bank was taken over by the number 1 bank with the help of the government, and on and on and on. And yes, there's all kinds of issues. Now in Switzerland, there's retribution. It is now time to hold accountable the people at Credit Suisse that screwed the whole thing up in the first place. Well, the list is a zillion miles long. Go back 10 years and start going after these guys if you wish. I have a feeling that there will be investigations, there will be inquiries made, but it'll be quiet. The Swiss way, it'll be very discreet. It won't be sensationalism. The Swiss are not into congressional hearings on national television so that, your congressman in your area can get all made up and get makeup on and get their hair all done and then, blame some poor schmuck behind the table for all the problems America's facing. That is not going to happen in Switzerland. All right, it's all going to be. We'll get to the bottom of it. We'll people will pay a price for their ineptitude, and we'll move on. And that's how it's going to get done, which allows the people of Switzerland just to go back to work, make money, which they do, be the world leader in many areas, which they are, have a very high quality of life, which they definitely do, a high standard of living, top-notch education, full-blown healthcare, and on it goes. And that's why a lot of people wish they were Swiss, and that's how it's going to be. And it'll be conservative and quiet, and all will be well. And that'll be that. Germany's trying to do the same thing with the banking thing. Unfortunately for Germany, they've got a problem today. Germany has a complete transportation strike on its hands nationally, which means no trains are running, which is a big deal in Germany, the passenger train. No cargo trains. No subways are running in the major cities that I'm aware of. Buses have been shut down. Trams have been shut down. Airports are shut down. All of Germany is shut down for transportation, which just shuts down everything. Why? Why would people be doing that? Why are unions walking off the job? Simple. The postal workers got a 10.5% pay raise a couple months ago, threatening legal action and walking off the job. And now everyone else wants 10%. And the government's going, we can't pay everybody 10% more money. This is going to create more inflation. Well, welcome to the party, pal. This is how this game works. Once inflation shows up, it embeds itself into a nation and into other countries and into the world economy as a whole. And all of a sudden, average people go to their grocery store and they're told by their government that your inflation rate is 5.5%, 6%, and you go to your favorite grocery store to buy your favorite stuff, and it's 20% more expensive. And you go, why is it that every time the government announces what the inflation rate is, wherever I live, it's way more expensive than the national average? And then you call your friends and your relatives and text buddies and pals who are all over the country, and you find that every one of your friends and every one of your relatives and everyone you've ever known, no matter where they live today, are also all getting a 20% higher expenditure for whatever they need for. And they too are living in a much higher inflation area than the government says is the national average. You don't know anyone, and you can't find anybody anywhere that pays less than what the government says inflation is, because there isn't any, because the government numbers are laughable. They are out of date. They were originally set from the 1960s and 70s. Inflation is now measured in like 1990, 2000 metrics. We have the cell phone since 2000, like we've had a few advancements in our world. Yeah, the inflation metric is antiquated. It is utterly unreliable, and you can double the government number every single time. So if they tell you that inflation is 6%, it's 12%. If they tell you it's 5.5%, it's 11%. If they say it's 14%, it's 28%. They will never get it right, because why would any administration, whether you're Republican or Democrat, why would the Congress, if you're Republican controlled, Democrat controlled, why would the Senate, no matter who controls what, why would any of these institutions want to have the inflation rate be deadly accurate for all of us when they know what we know, what everyone knows? The number is way off, not with reality. You want to be the first president of your country to happily announce that the inflation rate has been incorrect at 5.5% because of the old metrics. The new metrics now, inflation is actually 14%. You want to be that politician? I don't know of any politician that wants to bring you that information in any happy way. No. I always ask this question. I've been asking this question now for the last couple months. Why is it that when everyone says everything's okay, there are bank failures? You would think that banks would be the last business to have a problem, because banks deal in money. They deal in cash. And top 1 percentile, top 5% of bank employees, no matter which of the top 100 U.S. banks you want to talk about, these people do relatively well. They do really well. They do really, really, really well. They make a lot of money. And their brothers-in-laws and sisters-in-laws and friends and college pals, they're doing well too. Because if you're, a friend of some senior people at certain bank, you might be able to get a job through that institution, because after all, you hire who you know, you hire who you trust to be with you when it comes to making decisions. So it doesn't hurt to be, a good old college roommate, best pal from some guy that is now, CEO of blah, blah, blah entity, and you are a financial analyst with so-and-so, or you're a banking associate with whatever. This guy might call you up, say, why don't you come work for us? Why don't you come on over here? We'd love to have you work with, because I remember how much fun we had in college, and you have secrets on me and I have secrets on you. I think we should get together and stay really close to each other. It's not business, it's personal. It's not personal, it's business. Well, it's both. If you're one of the top, 5 percentile of banks, you do just fine. They're not the folks having problems, though. It's the 95% of the rest of them that are having issues. And I keep asking myself, if everything is so great, if the President of the United States says the banking system is very strong in America, and Janet Yellen says it's very good, and Mr. Powell says everything's great, and many, 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 many other people in very high circles who should know better are saying, oh yeah, the U.S. banking system is fine. Why are banks going under when the interest rates are only at 4.5% for the Fed funds rate? Why wasn't there a bank a week going under in 1975 when I was 20 years old, when inflation was 16%? Why wasn't there a bank a week going under then? Because there wasn't. I don't understand. Like, how could I survive as a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old and a 22-year-old all those years through the mid-70s, through the mid-80s, where inflation was way over 8-10% a year after year after year after year? And postal workers were getting 15% pay raises. GM workers, Ford workers, Chrysler workers were getting 12, 15, 20% pay raises left, right, and center. Why weren't banks going under everywhere? I'll tell you why, if you want to know. Banks weren't allowed to do what they're allowed to do now. Back in those days, banks were lenders to people. Banks lent money to your parents. Banks issued mortgages. Banks had car loans. Banks they were part of your neighborhood. They were part of your community. You had regional banks that were within your state. They weren't multi-state banks. They were one state bank. The state of Pennsylvania had banks. The state of New York had banks. And they were proud of it. And they bragged about it. And they were involved in the children's baseball team in every town. And they were involved in the soccer team. And they were involved in the hockey team. And they were involved in the charity run. And they were community, part of the family, the community, the region that you lived in. And they cared about your area for business growth and stability, which made it easy for your parents to find a mortgage for their house in the hometown that you grew up in, because the banker lived there with you too. And yes, the bank manager and the president of the local banks, they did very well financially, but they didn't do as well as they're doing now. The guys who are now in charge of these banks, they don't know who you are. They don't want to know who you are. They're not interested in being part of your baseball team community sponsorship program. They're not going to be part of your charity walk. They've got people underneath them for all that stuff, because they're no longer your town's bank, your community bank, your county, your state. These are interstates. When we say regional bank, we talk about the Northeast. We're talking about all of the Northeast of the United States, 75, 80 million people, 90 million, 100 million people. The Southeast, we're talking Florida, Georgia, probably Texas, the Carolinas. We're talking big area. How is it possible that the CEO of XYZ Bank that's from the Southeast knows anyone in Macon, Georgia? Doesn't know anyone there. He's not going to, because they're not from that area. This individual is brought in from Harvard, was brought in from Princeton, was brought in to run the bank. These people are paid in stock compensation. They're not paid $20 million a year in salary. They're getting paid $1 million a year in salary, and they're getting $10 to $20 million in stock options every year. They have one mission in life: use as much of the bank money as possible to either pay out a dividend to shareholders, of which this individual is becoming one, or use the dough to buy back stock on the open market, stock buybacks, get that market up, increase loan exposure, increase business to make that bank a higher profile bank and get the deposits up, so that when this CEO and all of the people around these guys, they get their stock options, they get their 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 500,000 share options per year of service. These people are looking to make $2, $5, $8, $10, $15, $20, $50 a share in profit on every share that they get over the lifetime of their employment, so that when they retire rich. None of them are from your hometown. They couldn't give a crap about your house on your street. They don't know who you are. They can't know who you are. You're one of the millions of clients they've got. They don't know who the hell you are. They're not going to give a crap about you. They give a crap about themselves. And so you have banks who are now getting into stuff they didn't get into before. Now you have regional banks that are helping to finance office towers in downtown Cleveland, in downtown Detroit, in downtown New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore. They're financing regional big box shopping centers all over the place. They don't have a small town feel. They don't have a small town awareness. They only know to make money, they have to be as aggressive as all the other regional banks that are doing the same thing all over the country that they're doing. And the game here is to raise cash from depositors, put the cash into performing assets, lend out money, and then syndicate the loans out through Wall Street and keep lending again. Leverage, 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 leverage it up. And as long as the entire system doesn't crap out, all should be well. All should be well. But when you have an interest rate policy that goes from 0% interest rate to 4.5% interest rates in 7-8 months of time, you are going to create a bag of problems for a whole bunch of organizations. And a bunch of these regional banks put all their clients' deposit money into 30-day treasury bills, 60-day, 90-day, 180-day, 365-day, 2-year notes, 3-year notes, 5-year notes, 10 years. They spread it out over the government of the United States. They bought the most secure paper money can buy, American debt from the American taxpayer. It's as good as it gets. Americans pay their bills at the federal level. They pay. Despite what Congress is doing with their spending bunk and all that crap, interest gets paid on U.S. debt. These banks, unfortunately, they realize, oh crap, as soon as that bank rate went up 3 percentage points, and then 3.5 and 3 3/4 and 4 and 4 1/4 and 4.5, the higher sucker goes, the lower the bonds are valued at on the open market. And as long as the banks don't have to sell any of this stuff, they don't have to acknowledge to their depositors that they're upside down, that the $200 billion on deposit is only worth $150 billion in the open market. They don't have to say a word to you, because as long as they don't have to sell a single dollar of any of those bonds to raise additional quick cash, they can carry it on the books for cost, $200 billion, all is well. You come in and want to draw $500 from your $20,000 savings account or checking account, you're fully insured, $250,000 per person, got nothing to worry about. Great. But you're a CEO of a startup like over at SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, and you've got $12 million in your company's checking account, and you're writing checks for $2 million a month, and you're bringing in $2 million a month in sales, and money in, money out, money in, money out. You only have 250,000 covered. The rest is naked. It's not insured. As long as your banker is in solid financial shape, you have nothing to worry about. You can cut checks, you can make deposits. All is well. And the other 20,000 accounts with you, you're all fine. And so 200 plus billion is managed by this banker for all these clients, of which 90% of it is uninsured because of the size of these accounts. As long as there isn't a run on the bank, all is well. The problem happened that some astute people out there, very astute people, did the numbers on SVB and others. And they were going, some of these regional banks are a little overexposed into U.S. government bonds that are way down in value right now. We know money market funds are off. We know ETFs are down. We know bond hedge funds or bond mutual funds, all these outfits. We know of pension funds who have written down the value of their portfolios in the bond investing area because they have to. But we notice that the banks don't have to do that. But we've done some investigative reporting here. We've done some forensics through all the filings these publicly traded banks have to do through the SEC, and it's right there. It's right there. SVB is down $20-30 billion in value from all those government bonds they're sitting on. They've only got 10 billion in equity. They're down 20 billion in value. They're insolvent. This bank is broke. Their deposits are more than what they've got to cover the deposits. If they had to liquidate right now, they'd only get 80 cents on the dollar from the investments. 10 cents on the dollar would come from the owners, the shareholders of the company, and the rest is naked. And these accounts are uninsured because of the size of these accounts. That was the realization by some very astute people months ago, and they started shorting the crap out of this stock. And others, because many have gone down in value dramatically. And once the word got out, it started to leak out. SVB made an attempt at trying to raise additional capital. They wanted to raise additional capital to shore up their balance sheet, to assure their depositors that we're fully funded. You can make a withdrawal anytime you want, not a problem. We can cover you. What the feds didn't do, and the feds have since done, but what they didn't do at that time is they didn't say to these guys, look, we know you're down 20% on US debt. Here's what we're going to do. First, you don't have to declare that you're down 20%, because that's the way we run this thing, which is a shell game in itself. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the discount window here at the Fed, and you can borrow up to $200 billion from us. Using the $200 billion of debt you've bought, those bonds will give you a one-for-one value on those bonds, even though they're only worth 160 billion, or it's 250 billion, it's only worth 200 billion, whatever the number was. Whatever you're short, we're covering you. That way you can cover all shorts. The Fed didn't do that because the Fed didn't understand and didn't know that SVB and many other banks were short enough cash and enough value to cover their deposits because they were allowed, these banks, to get into other businesses outside of their regions, and they were able to leverage up their business. And it's the leverage that has done them in. And now the run began, and the run happened on one of these things. Everybody has one of these. Billions, $40 billion was withdrawn in 24 hours using this thing right here by most CEOs of companies that wanted their money out, and they got it out. Now, a number of them didn't get it out and thought they had lost it all when they didn't get out in time, but then the Fed made them whole by saying, you're fully covered. You'll be all able to get your dough out, no problem whatsoever. That has given all the thousands of customers at SVB have all gone, oh, thank God. Thank God we didn't lose our butts, because we, a company with $20 million in SVB, we didn't put 20 million in there to gamble with these guys. We didn't gamble 20 million to have them turn it into 40 million. We just gave them cash, and we have cash flow here. Money in, money out, money. We're doing business. We need a bank to be a banker. We're not interested in having a banker be the gambler on on certain investments. We just want a bank to be a banker so that we can do the gambling in our own business, in our own field, in our own area, and grow our company into a larger corporation. We're paying them plenty in fees for this service. We write checks, they get money. We have quick loans, we do all this. They make banking fees from us, thousands of us. They make millions a week in profits from our business. Why isn't that enough? Why isn't that enough? And it isn't, because if you want to have the top 1% of these bankers get paid big time dollars, and you want to be a board of director member of these banks, that is a cushy gig. Oh man, you have a board of director meeting once a month and you get paid $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month plus stock to be a member of the board of directors for once a month meetings to pick your brain about what you think we should do and how we're doing what we're doing and blah, blah, blah. Oh, lovely. And then you have the bank that sponsors the So-and-so Open. We have a golf tournament from the PGA. We don't sponsor Little League Baseball anymore. We don't sponsor Little Town Little League Baseball. We sponsor a PGA Tour stop in our area near our head office. And what do we have there? We have corporate tents there. And who are they for? For our top employees and our top clients. We wine and dine these clients at the tournament, and we have the tents by the 18th hole or the 17th hole. And it's just shrimp and crab and lobster and steak and enjoy yourself. That's what we do. And that is done by all these guys. This is corporate America one-on-one. This is how you promote your business. This is your bank. Your banker used to be downtown in your hometown, and the kids, your children, used to be able to go into the local bank branch. Okay, this is your grandchildren now. Well, no, this is you as children, I'm sorry, or children before you used to go into the branch, and you would be looking for sponsorship for the Little League team that you're part of. And you'd meet with one of the assistant managers, and they'd cut you a check for $50, and you'd use that money to buy baseballs and bats and gloves. And this was community involvement at every level. And there were dozens of banks in town that all did this. Every little legal league team had this. It was across the board, lifetime of support, always. The loyalty that was there from the customers was from age 5 until 85 when you died. Your entire lifetime of servitude and partnership was there through your teen years, your college years, your working years, your adult life, your children, then your grandchildren, financial planning, everything right till the day you passed away. It was right there. And then your children and your grandchildren came behind you and were the clients of the bank. No more. That is gone now. And of course, the fastest growing bank, one of the fastest growing bank, is SoFi, that does this. And there is no one at SoFi that knows your name and will ever know who you are. And for some of you, you're quite happy with that because you're used to the 8-second attention span world. You don't want to be called by your banker. You find that funny? A bank tries to call you to talk to you about your investing, and you don't want to talk to them. You don't want to talk to your banker about your credit card. You don't want to talk to your banker about your checking account. Leave me alone. Stop calling me at home. I don't want to be bothered anymore. Because you feel you've got the best banking relationship there is. This relationship right here. Hands off. I'll take care of my own affairs. Thank you very much. Okay. Welcome to the modern world. There it is. But get used to a bank run that can be done in seconds if there's a problem. This is why the Fed has to ultimately bite the bullet, and they're going to have to increase the amount of money that's guaranteed by depositors. They've done increases over the years to the 250,000 level, but they're going to have to guarantee corporate accounts as well. Or they're going to have to restrict banking activity, what the banks can and cannot get into. Problem is, of course, that on Capitol Hill in Washington, there are 5 bank consultants for every congressman lurking the halls of Congress to make sure that none of these guys get any fancy ideas about interfering with banking in America. You keep your meat hooks off of our little turf here. You let us settle it with the Fed. We'll take care of everything. We don't need you guys. And super PACs have been funded to ensure that certain Congress people in certain vulnerable districts that could be outspent 10 to 1, 100 to 1, toe the line. And the senators and the congressmen don't get in any fancy, notions of change. And this is true of the insurance business, the medical business, the defense business. I mean, you name any industry you want. I'm not picking on banks only. There are lobbyists for every cause that can afford it. The gun lobby, the everything lobby, all of them. They're all there. That's why the biggest employer in the regional area of Washington, D.C., lobbyists. They're the biggest employers of individuals. And these individuals are sharp university graduates. They know how to talk and walk and spell and chew gum at the same time. Very sharp people who are paid oodles of money, oodles of dough to be a lobbyist. Oh, and by the way, when there's a golf tournament in Virginia or there's a golf tournament in Carolina, these lobby firms have tents as well. So there's the tent over there for the bank. There's the tent over there for the medical firm. The cigarette company so-and-so has a tent over there under the name of whatever. Oh, and there's this tent over here. Lobbyists for all these guys, they have tents too. And there are all kinds of folks glad-handing everybody, including elected officials, at these events. And welcome to the world of lobbying. We don't want to make any changes. Everything's fine. Let's just keep it the way it is and all will be well. And there you go. Welcome to business in 2023. The local, small town, everything is gone. You ever recall, I don't know if any of you know, but there was a time where the Little League baseball team had to raise $500 for the season. And they would go to 10 different businesses for $50 each to raise enough money for the season. And the businesses knew they were coming. And who were the businesses? They were the bank, the local insurance company, the local hardware store operator, might be the gas station owner, the main gas station in town. I would think the insurance companies. I would think that not necessarily doctors or hospitals, but the largest 10 would be the community backers of the community Little League baseball teams. And every year they had a check ready for $50 every year. It was a deduction. It was a charitable deduction for the businesses. They could write it off. This was done every year. And there would be bankers. The bank employees would be the volunteers to work the baseball team. The hardware store had a volunteer working with the baseball team. It was all community done, all moms and dads, because bankers and other people in the town had children too. And their kids would be in the baseball team, and their kids' kids would be in the baseball team. This was generational, and this was the way it was done. That's over now. That's all over now. It's so much different now, so completely, utterly different now. And you might recall, I don't know if you know this, but when I was a kid, I could walk to school and walk home from school by myself every day, 5 days a week. And for the whole year, we'd have hundreds of kids going to school and hundreds of kids coming home during lunch and after school and back and forth. And none of us disappeared. None of us. We all made it home safe and sound. And we would walk with our pals and play skipping games and play hide and seek and tag. And it was a different world back then. Today it's a lineup of cars in front of school. Drop them off, pick them up, drop them off, pick them up, drop them off, pick them up, drop them off, pick them up. Every day. It's a whole new world. Just want to let you know that in case you wanted to know what was life like in the 60s and stuff. That's what life was like. You used to walk to school and go with your best friend and walk home with your best friend, stop at the playground or play catch. We used to play catch and stuff. Yeah. In Canada, we used to call take shots. You know what that means? Taking shots? No, it's not what you think it is. No, it has nothing to do with an AK-47 or anything like that. No. Taking shots is where one guy has a hockey stick and the other guy has a goalie stick and a baseball glove. And we'd pretend to make a net. We'd have like a brick here and a brick here. And we'd pretend that there's a rectangle over that brick. And that's the goal. And one guy is taking shots to try to score And it would be like we'd use tennis balls or those sponge pucks, taking shots. That's what we used to do. Play hockey on the driveway of the house that we lived in. And the garage door would be all banged up and dinged up. And Mom and Dad would just go, oh, the hell with it. The garage doors that were made of wood were the best because they only have to be repainted every couple of years because of the marks from the balls or whatever. The garage doors that were aluminum, they get dinted and dinged in, and they'd have to be replaced after 5 or 10 years. But that's the way it was. Of course, Mom and Dad in those days would prefer that the kids took shots in the driveway and not go out to other parts of town where they don't know where they are and all that stuff. That made sense. But then again, in the 60s, we always came home. So that was a different time. Welcome, everybody, to 2023. I don't know if the world's any better or not, but it's different, isn't it? Welcome, everybody. Israel. There's all kinds of problems in Israel right now. Benjamin Bibi was in London, England over the weekend on some kind of a promotional tour or whatever. And his defense minister made a comment that he thought it might be a good idea for the security of Israel, these national security reasons, to delay the implementation of changes to the legal system in Israel by a month because of the street protests that have been going on now for months and months and months and months. Beach Boy can attest to that. As soon as Netanyahu heard that, he fired his defense minister instantly from London. He was fired. And they brought in another flake to take his place. There are riots in the streets. There are unions walking out on a national strike. The international airport in Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv is shut down. No flights in or out. All business has virtually ceased to exist. McDonald's announced they're closing all 238 restaurants countrywide. They're not worried about riots as far as damage to their property. That's not the problem. The McDonald's in Israel are all unionized. The union that these people belong to also is the same union of many other industries. They're all walking at the same time. And so now you have military members of the military who are upset at this judicial crap going on, workers, average citizens, and you've got complete shutdown of the country right now going on. So Benjamin has got himself a big, fat, freaking problem that is really spreading badly for him. And now the question is, will there be a non-confidence vote that will sink him? And will Israel go into a 7th or 8th election in the last 3, 4 years, 5 years, whatever that is? That's what the public would like to have. I don't think Netanyahu would like to have an election right now because he has not yet been able to put in all the rules he wants to put in to protect himself from being convicted as a criminal in his own country for violating election laws and other laws that he has been suspected of creating that are in judicial processes right now. What he's trying to get done is he's trying to get laws passed in the parliament that will allow parliament to overrule Supreme Court decisions by the parliament. He wants the parliament, in effect, the prime minister, to have veto power over the Supreme Court. I wonder why. Is it because he's being possibly charged with a bunch of crimes? Does this sound in any way familiar to any of you out there in America? About how a former leader, which Benjamin Netanyahu was until 6 months ago when he got his job back, a former leader is now a leader again and is now changing the rules with regard to the courts so that he can't be charged with anything unless he allows it to happen. Is there any overflow anywhere in this channel from any of you out there who have any kind of, does this sound familiar to any of you folks, that there's this, backlash against certain institutions that are either from one party or another? You're either American or you're a traitor. I wonder how that's going to work out. Anyway, they're in the streets in Israel, have been for months, and now they are really coming out. And what's beginning to happen now in Israel is what might happen in America someday, and that someday might be within a year or 2 or 3, where the population stays home and does not participate in daily life anymore. In other words, I'm not going to work. I can't get to work because the highways are all closed. Second, I can't take a train or subway to get to work. My boss wants me to travel to wherever to do a business meeting. I can't get there and back because the airlines are shut down, or there's a wildcat strike of transit drivers in that city that I'm going to, or the hotel workers of this hotel brand that I stay, they walked out on the job. It's when we don't participate anymore, the entire thing collapses. And when that happens, it doesn't matter who's in power, that person is powerless, because when you don't have the population playing any of your games for you, that stops everything dead in its tracks and you have no power. The last time this happened like that was visible to the world, and it was shocking, and I mean really shocking to the world, was 1989. Some of you weren't born yet, I guess. Well, you were a kid. You were very young at that time. The country was East Germany. East Germans had had enough of their leaders telling them they were living in the finest country on the planet. You are in heaven. You're an East German. You got it made. This is the country. Everybody wants to come here. We're keeping them out because East Germans for East Germany, And the East Germans noticed that, well, if that's the case, why can't I go traveling to the United States for a 2-week holiday? Why can't I go to Canada? Why can't I go to Great Britain for a holiday? As an East German, if I'm in the greatest country in the world, you would think my passport would be loved by everybody. The reason you can't go to those countries is not that the countries won't let you in. Oh, heck, you want a plane load of East Germans coming to Disney World? No problem. The problem is they couldn't get out of East Germany. The authorities would not allow East Germans to leave their country for other countries other than other communist countries behind the Soviet Iron Curtain. So you could go to Hungary and back, Romania and back, go to Russia and back, Poland and back. You can't go to West Germany. You can't go to France. You can't go to Spain. You can't go to Italy. No. It's when the East Germans said, this is bullshit. This garbage. I don't believe you guys anymore. Maybe as a 7-year-old kid and a 12-year-old child, you brainwashed me all my life at school that I lived in the greatest country in the world, and my parents kept going. Now that I'm 16, 18, 20, I can't even buy Beatle records because that's illegal. If I get caught with a Beatle record, that is a crime in East Germany because of the messaging by these guys to think for yourself and all that kind of stuff. You can't have that. No. Well, they figured out this is crap. If we're the greatest country in the world, what are we afraid of? Well, we're afraid of everything. We're afraid of anything other than the message that you guys are giving us. And you people are out of touch with reality. Oh, and by the way, not that we're allowed to ask, but why is it that the upper 2% of our country in East Germany live in villas and get driven around in Mercedes-Benz limos that aren't even East German made? Why is it that this greatest country in the world, you guys are living the life of Riley, and we can't find enough pork to buy bacon, to have bacon and eggs with every day or every week? Why is it that we're lining up in grocery stores to buy cheap cuts of meat that are crap and all the good stuff is gone? And you guys seem to be looking pretty healthy out there with tans in the winter, and it looks good for you. It's not doing so good for us. Now, any of those folks who criticize in public, you're traitors to your country. There's a prison waiting for you to talk about this. But when the population of East Germany said enough, they just stayed home. They didn't go to work. They didn't ride the transit. They didn't go to the library. They didn't go to the grocery store. They just kind of said, well, we're not participating in society anymore. All of us. You want to arrest all 15 million of us? You haven't got enough jail cells. And a lot of the government workers themselves who were told, you're working for the greatest government in the world, they were starving too. They stayed home. The whole thing collapsed on itself. And so the Berlin Wall, shortly thereafter, fell over, and it was game over for East Germany and for Hungary and for other Soviet satellite countries. It all fell down all in like 2 years, from 89 to 91. The moment, though, the issue is what happens in Israel. Do the Israelis as a whole stop everything they're doing until Netanyahu's out? And this coalition between the far right wing, that is a small minority party that's holding hostage the Likud party, that I think is Benjamin's party. He's had to make a deal with these guys to have enough votes to get parliament through. These right wingers want all the power. They want to be able to appoint judges. They want to be able to overrule judges' rulings. They want to decide who gets criminally charged and why. They want all power. And this guy Netanyahu is trying to work deals and keep power in as a prime minister. And he's had to get in bed with these guys. And the population of Israel is going, oh, no, you're not. No, we're not going for right-wing zealots. Right? We have seen what right-wing zealots are all about everywhere else, including a certain country in North America that is not Canada, is not Mexico, but is somewhere in between those two countries without naming any country. We've seen what those right-wingers are thinking about, and we're not interested in those people running the whole show the way they see fit. Oh, no, not happening here. And so they're in the streets. The question is, will it happen in North America? Will it come to that eventually in North America? Unfortunately, if it did, there will be a lot of AK-47s in the streets, unfortunately, AR-15s, and scary as hell. Let me tell you, scary as hell what's potentially happening. I don't know, just saying. I'm an observer from way up high, looking down, going, whoa, what's happening in Israel? Well, look at Germany. National walkouts. France, riots in the streets because of retirement age, 62 to 64. France is burning. Germany is about to start burning if this gets worse. The UK, a mess, a basket case because of Brexit, because of their Britain first policies. It's destroying the United Kingdom, completely annihilating the UK economy, the UK trading platform. It's a mess. And prime minister after prime minister in the UK will keep coming. There will be more changes, and it will not get any better because Europe has just gone, okay, you guys don't want to be part of us. We don't need to be part of you. So we have our own problems. You guys figure yourselves out. We'll figure ourselves out, and we'll just move on. It is a mess out there. Oh, there's a war in Ukraine. Have you heard? There's a war going on in the Ukraine between Russia and the Ukrainian people. That's a shocker. Oh my gosh. That's going on all at the same time. The market's up 200 points today. Everything's fine. There's nothing to see here. There's no issues whatsoever. All is well. Just go out there and blindly buy whatever you buy, and you'll be just fine. Yeah, I think option writers are a little smarter than that, and there's a few of them here. Congratulations to those of you who are writing options on shares that you own. Some of you have been very well rewarded. You're going to continue to get well rewarded because you do not need to fear the upside of this market. This market is not going to go to all-time highs anytime soon. There are no economic conditions in the U.S. economy, Canadian economy, that will lead to a phenomenal run of profitability for corporate anybody. It's just not there. Everything that could be wrong is beginning to be shown as wrong. It's absolutely a mess. By the way, on Tesla, just so you are aware, the story goes that Tesla, the $7,500 tax credit thing that's been going on to really move sales for Model 3s and Model Ys, that runs out in a couple of days. I think by April 1, there are new rule changes possibly coming out from the IRS that might kill off a bunch of these write-offs for future orders. So the word is, if you want a Tesla, order it now before the end of this month, and this is the 27th today. Get your paperwork in for your tax credit eligibility, which Tesla will help you with online, no problem, because after the 1st of April, all bets are off. We do not know what vehicles qualify for what. It's too ridiculous. I mentioned that as a corporate service, as a free public service from this gentleman to you. Carnival announces a 55-cent share loss versus 166 a year ago. Revenue is at 4.4 billion, above facts consensus 4.3 billion. They expect their second quarter loss of 42 cents a share, 42.34 to 42 cents. Fact set that they're thinking it's going to be 28. So the analysts are thinking the company is going to lose 28 cents. The company says, we think we're going to lose between 34 and 42 cents. We think we're going to do way worse than you think we're going to do. Carnival is bleeding money everywhere. You think that, only losing 55 cents a share, that's not so bad, until you realize they've got double the number of shares outstanding now than they had 2 years ago. So they are losing way more money in dollars. They are getting blown out of the water right now. So is Norwegian. So is Royal Caribbean. They are bleeding money everywhere. The costs for these cruise lines have gone way up, like anyone else, inflation. And they are nickel and diming their clients into submission. A lot of cruisers are PO'd at their cruise lines because what you used to get as standard fare, you don't get anymore. Like, for example, getting your room made up. You get up in the morning. Used to get up in the morning on the cruise ship. You wash your face, put on a t-shirt, get on some pants, get your flip-flops, and head over to the buffet and have breakfast in the buffet. And then you come back to your room, and you would want to come in to maybe have a shower and decide what you're going to do for the day. If the ship is docked at a spot, you might have a tour. So you want to get showered up, cleaned up, and then get dressed and go on the tour. Well, your room was made up by the time you got back from breakfast because you were gone for an hour. The stewards were in the hallways, prowling the hallways, waiting for each person to get out of their cabin. They could go in there, make the bed, get the garbage done, give you new fresh towels, get your room all spiffed up. So when you came back from breakfast, your room would all be made up beautifully. You're getting all purdied up. You're getting all dressed. You leave. And while you're gone, the room steward's coming back in and printing up your room all over again, giving you another set of towels. And your room is spick and span and perfectly clean every time. And there are no germs piling up on the handrails, on the sink knobs, on the door handles. This so-called norovirus that makes you poo when you don't want to poo. This is a problem on cruise ships, and the cabin stewards are notorious to clean all door handles, any metal inside the cabin, the walkway railings, all public areas. They're all over the ship all the time to stop the norovirus from exploding. Because if one person gets it, it can expand to 20 people every 3 hours across the entire ship of 7,000 people. Cruise lines have decided to stop all that. They're only going to service the room once now, once a day, sometime in the afternoon, which means you're going to have soiled towels, bedding that should have been changed out days ago. They're only going to change bedding out once a cruise instead of every day. They have cut back the cleaning of the ships dramatically. And this is going to create a nightmare for the CDC when it comes to how many passengers are going to come down with noroviruses and other viruses, because people don't wash their hands like they should. It's going to become an absolute cesspool of crap on cruise ships, sorry to say. And it's going to be bad, really, really bad. And Carnival's done it. Norwegian's doing it. Royal Caribbean's doing it. If you're in the upper echelon of the ships, the first class sections, you still got the service. But if you're everywhere else, like everybody else, 95% of the folks, you are in a cesspool of a nightmare. And food poisoning is coming. I just see a mess. I see an absolute nightmare for cruising coming. And this summer and this coming fall, it's all going to come to a head because it's just now beginning to take effect. And these cruise lines are in big trouble. They're going to get PR that they don't want because of the cutbacks that they've offered. It's a mess. Anyway, if you want to really hear all about this, go to my show tonight, 8 o'clock on Travel with Bruce. We'll be talking about it. It'll be fun. Yikes. What can I say? We have 5 minutes to go before we open for trading today. If you're an option writer, you're going to make money in this market. Even though my headline today is, will GameStop shares go to $30 on profits? Can GameStop shares go up to $30 a share because of the profit projections that they might be putting out? Could it possibly happen that in the next few weeks, in the next few months, analysts who have been negative on GameStop turn not so negative and start to say, if they put another quarter together like that fourth quarter they just released, if the first quarter of this year is as good as the fourth quarter was from last year, this company's prospects will have turned around dramatically. Now, if that is the thinking, could the shares reach $30 a share? What does that mean, $30 a share? What it means is that it's back to 120, because if you remember, the stock traded a split 4-for-1 last year. So right now at $24 a share, the stock's at $96. You know what $96 is to most of you? Cheap. You guys remember $140 to $180 stock prices as normal. Anything below that was bargain. Anything above that was kind of getting up there. But $96 a share, that didn't happen before. That never used to happen all the time. And here we were as low as the $15, $50, $16 last week sometime, week and a half ago. We were down to $64 a share at one point here. And you guys are asking me, why aren't there premiums on the stock anymore? The premiums on GameStop have really backed off, Bruce. What's going on? Well, at $64 a share compared to $164 a share, you'd think there'd be a pullback on premiums. Now we're at $96, $24. We go to 30, that's 120. Then the talk will be, can we go to 40? Because, hey, we're greedy, aren't we? We never have enough. It's possible, but they have to generate the returns. Now, is GameStop doing the right thing to make it happen? Yes, they are. They are doing the right thing. No one is acknowledging it because there are no fans of GameStop in Wall Street. No one likes these guys. CNBC, they hate these guys. They want to slam this company every chance they get. So GameStop's on its own. GameStop is going to have to deliver the goods every quarter. Now, what would be wonderful is if GameStop were to come out with an announcement that says something like, we're going to revise upward our projections for sales. They don't give projections, by the way. Did you notice that on the conference call last week? There were no projections on how we're doing. They're only saying they're a much stronger company now than before. That's all they said. We're in a much stronger financial position than we've been in years. That's all. No one is giving a projection of any kind. The only ones giving projections are the ones who hate these guys and are telling you to sell with a target price of $5 a share, because that's how much money they have in the bank, $5 a share. No one is giving you their straight goods. If the company were to come out and say, we estimate our gross sales to be so much in dollars, we estimate our net profit to be between here and here for the first quarter of the new year, that would now create a discussion about, are they right? Is that true? Could they exceed that? This is all new talk for GameStop. Profits, continued profits, quarterly profit every quarter. This is kind of talk that GameStop hasn't had for decades. That would get the stock going. There's a pretty big group of shareholders that are really loyal to this stock and don't want to let it go. And they would be more than happy to ride it right up there because they feel the right management is in place to run this company. And I think they're right. The right management is in place. The only thing this management doesn't do, that I wish they would do, is talk. But I've been saying this since 2021. If you've been around a little while, you've probably noticed that I mention this every second day. They don't talk. And if they don't talk, we can't talk about what they are talking about. And we can't speculate on whether they're talking about reality, or they're undercutting us. Are they sandbagging us? Are they over-promising? Are they under-promising? Are they going to over-deliver? We can't go there. We can't do that. We are on our own, and we have to just kind of wait this out and hope for the best, and it should be all right. And that's all we got, kids. And that's the story. So we did notice they made money last quarter. We noticed that, $41 million. No one saw that actually coming. You noticed there were no projections of any earnings of any kind by any analyst or anyone else anywhere. I mean, I certainly didn't predict they were going to make money in the fourth quarter. And there's a good reason I didn't, is because they don't talk. They don't say anything to us. So how do we know? We were totally guessing here. But they did. Here's one thing I'm certain of. Larry Titus has rung the bells. And that means this market is open. The second thing I'm certain of, we have switched to comments from members only. And that's been done. And I want to thank all of you who have been here for this first hour of this show already. It's already been an hour. Thank you for popping in here, hanging out with your old pal, Uncle Bruce. Thank you for those of you over the weekend. A number of you over the weekend ordered classes. You reached out to me. Some of you out there listened to me last week. You heard me mention it only once. I only mentioned it once last week. Where if you want to buy classes and you want to get all 14 classes in one shot, because there are 14 classes in existence, and a number of you are new to this channel, and you do want to watch the classes, you've reached out. Some of you reached out to me saying, how much for all 14? If I buy them all in one go rather than one at a time, can I get a deal if I buy all 14 classes? And I have said yes. There is a deal available if you wish to buy all 14 classes. You will save $300. You will get 2 classes for free. You will pay for 12 and get 14. And so it's an $1,800 hit. But you know what happens is when people put up $1,800 to buy 14 classes, you know what they do next? They watch all 14 classes because they know I just dropped that on the counter. I'm going to watch these 14 classes because I just paid $1,800 here. You darn right I'm going to watch these classes. And what happens after that? I start getting emails from people who do these, and they talk to me about what classes they really enjoyed, or they have questions about class this, class that. And that's showing me they're engaged. They're engaging with the professor here. Congratulations to those of you who are stepping up, taking the classes either one at a time, every week or two. Some of you are ordering another class, which is great. Your pace is fine with me. Whatever pace you want to watch my classes is fine with me. But there are a number of you who have said, I want all 14. I'm treating this like a college course. This is a college course that I'm going to take at home. I want to learn how to write options. I want to quit my day job. Oh, by the way, did you hear the latest news? Headline came out an hour or two ago. Half of all Americans that are working, half of all working Americans have a side gig, and they make money on the side. The paycheck isn't enough. The paycheck they get from their employer is not enough to make ends meet. They all have a side gig. 50% of Americans working today. I think that's a record high. That's got to be a record high. And some of those are you guys right here on this channel. Thank you, JR. The bells have been rung. Some are you guys that are here that are writing options on the side to add to your paychecks. That's me, says Mandu number 5. That's me, baby. You got me right there. I'm doing that, exactly that. I am definitely making money in on the side to get by. We got side gigs, man. We got side gigs. I congratulate those of you who are here and are doing option trading on the side. And living in the Northeast is expensive, says Mandu number 5. And if it becomes your primary source of income someday, I'm stoked for you people, because you really can do very well writing options. You really can. You can completely change your lives, make a huge difference in your finances. If at the very least, whatever income you're bringing in from option premiums, where from time to time you can do a withdrawal from your account and throw that money at a credit card and get rid of a 24% interest charge debt you've been carrying for 5 years and pay that $5,000 off, or $8,000 or $10,000 or $2,000 or 17,000. I don't care whatever the number is. If it's helping you eliminate that kind of debt at that kind of interest rate, you are lowering your cost of living dramatically forever. And this is a big, big step. And if you can compound that with any other loan reorganizations you're doing, increasing the quality of transportation that you have, maybe getting something newer to drive, or repairing a second car that's been stuck in the driveway for a year, needs to be repaired, $3,000 worth of repairs you can't afford, you can finally afford to get it done. Way to go. I say congratulations to all of you out there. It is just so available to you, but you got to want it. So again, those of you who are taking the classes, congratulations go around to all of you out there. You're reaching out to me. You're saying, hey, Bruce, I want to get all 14. Can you make me a deal here? Yes, indeed. Congratulations. Class number 15 is under construction. It might be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'm just about to decide whether I'm going to launch number 15 and what the date will be. So if you have an interest in class 15, I'm giving you the heads up that sometime April, it's coming out. And it'll run $150 like I've always charged for a class. And if you want to get into class number 15, I can't tell you the day. I can't tell you the time. I can't tell you anything yet. So hang in there and wait it out. When I give you the word, you can send in your dough and we'll reserve your spot for class 15. No title, no nothing. Okay, just nothing. Just, all right. Zed, I know you're going to be there. I know it. Okay, it's all good. I'll keep you guys posted. I hope in the next couple of days I can nail this down. I've got to talk to Jen. I've got to figure out who's coming down here and what's going on. And there it is. All right. Welcome all to the party. Thank you for joining me today from wherever you are around the world. Thank you for those of you who've been giving us thumbs ups already. Thank you for those of you who are joining the channel as new members, as renewing and recurring members. Thank you. Thank you also to those of you who are throwing, like Brian here, who has mentioned to us that he's been a member for 6 months of this channel. 6 months already. Thanks for everything, Uncle Bruce. I think membership is for me. Gold will be soon. Bagel Gang is Familia. Thank you for all of you who do these alerts. You're able to do these alerts at no cost. YouTube, just all you have to do on this thing is on the bottom of the chat. I think there's a $sign. And if you click the $sign, it gives you the opportunity to put up an alert as to how long you've been a member of the channel. Thank you, all of you who are posting these and letting all of us know how long you've been a member. I love it. It just shows again to those who are occasionally watching here or who find us for the first time ever that these members of this channel have been here for a while. And there's a reason. Why is it that people stay members of this channel for 6 months, a year, year and a half, now 24 months since we've offered memberships? Why would someone pay a membership fee for 24 months, either for $10 a month or $25 a month, for a channel where there's a balding guy that is perfectly made for radio? Why do they do that? And it has to be, there's only one answer. There's only one answer. Why do people stay members of this channel? Because they're making money. You got to get to the quick here, okay? It's not because he's pretty. He's funny. He's funny looking. No, they make money here. You want to make money in the market, you got to learn how to write options. And these folks have figured this out. There's 242 people watching right now. I'll bet you 220 of them are option writers. 22 are curiosity seekers wondering what's this guy about. If you're one of the 22, I don't know if that's true. But if there's 22 of you here who've never been here before, welcome to the channel. We try to keep it PG rated. Members can comment here, only members during market hours. And these folks make money. That's the bottom line. They would have left months ago. Within the first month of membership, they would have dropped it and walked away and never come back. There's a reason that this membership crew that you are watching here stick around as long as they do, and they're proud to mention to all of you out there how long they've been a member of the channel. I'm just thrilled about it. They're making money. It's as simple as that, and I can pretty well assure you that 90% of these folks that are commenting here have taken all the classes. They've done all 14 of them. You can't stop them. Many of them have watched classes 5 and 6 times over to remind themselves and remind themselves of what not to do and what to do. They have learned how not to make mistakes in the option market. This is the secret to making money in the options business. Not make mistakes. You can get a win in the option business. It's easy sometimes to get a win in the option business. There are those out there who have YouTube channels that brag about how easy it is to make money playing in the options market, and how you buy low and you sell high. You buy low and you sell high, until, of course, it doesn't work. Then there are the viewers that are on this channel who figured out, no, I don't buy low and sell high. I sell high and I buy low instead. And if I play that game, instead of the buy first and sell later, I sell first and buy later, I make money way, way more predictably than the other way around, because I have everything going for me. And the biggest secret weapon that the viewers of this channel have in their back pocket right over here, the wristwatch right here, the stopwatch, the clock, they run out the clock and make money because they can run out the clock. It's so powerful. It is so overwhelmingly deadly to market option players. It destroys option buyers. The time factor destroys option buyers all the time. And the viewers of this channel know that. They understand it through the classes. They realize the subtleties of how options depreciate, how options eventually run out, and how the time factor can really make you a bunch of dough. Even stocks that go up in price, the options on those shares can still drop in value. Even though the stocks go up, option writers still make money because premiums shrink out faster than the stock can go up. It is incredible. It is predictable. It is happens time after time. Many of my viewers who are now option writers were skeptical when they first found this channel. They weren't sure that this old, balding, homeless Canadian knew anything about what he's talking about. And they started following this guy, and they took class number 1, and then they took class number 2, and they went into class number 3, and they started writing one option here, one option here, just to see, I want to try this with a little bit of my portfolio. I'll write a little here, and then they realized, oh my God, he's right. And now they're writing options as many as they possibly can all the time. And the pattern is predictable. It happens to almost all viewers on this channel. They become option writers, and they don't want to go back. You don't ever, once you become a writer, you start making money as an option writer, you don't ever go back. It's too juicy to give up. In any event, welcome to the party, everybody. I'm glad you're here. What else going on here? GameStop is lower, 37 cents. People are noticing GameStop's dropping. There it is. Splair saying, because I made money from this channel and because the bagel familia is fancy, Uncle Bruce has the right sense for jokes while he seems not to be completely against Tilray products, for example. That was PG rated for me, by the way. Thank you, Splair, from Dortmund. Larry, how are the Europeans coping with the DST chime change? All my meetings are European time-based. They shifted today. Mandu, learning from mistakes is very important. Splair, I'm doing okay. Yesterday was a little horrible, but today I had an hour more before the show started. Touch grass, mistakes are the way. Cindy B, when will Tesla dip? I guess I will be rolling again this week. Splair, but to be honest, my own mistake. I was watching until 3 a.m. Star Wars episode number 8, and then suddenly when I went to bed, maybe 10 minutes later, it was 4:11 a.m. Oh no. That's right. You lost an hour, buddy. Leap forward. Welcome to the party, pal. The Dow is up 267 as a nice little start. The question is, will it hold? The NASDAQ is not participating in this rally. It's up 9 points. It's just not interested. NASDAQ is the first market to go lower if we back off here. S&P is only up 27. The Dow's up 0.88 of a percentage point, S&P up 0.69, and NASDAQ 0.15 of a percentage point, now up 19. Not looking great. Oil up 109 at 70.34 or so. Okay, fair enough. We're hanging in there. GameStop down 46 cents at 23.52. ATIP at 30 down 4. SoFi 580 up 6 cents. Tesla's at 196.78 up 6.37. It is not able to hold 200. Can't get back to 214, 219 where it got to. And Tesla buyers might walk away starting this Thursday, Friday, because the tax deal is over. It's possible the $7,500 tax rebate for Teslas ends at the end of this month. That would be what, Thursday this week. This is the 27th. There's only 31 days here. Watch Tesla. It might drop $30 this week just on anticipation of the possibility that maybe it could possibly be that maybe might somehow there won't be a tax rebate anymore. That's how touchy Tesla shares could be this week. We could be 165 at any time. Just saying. Just saying. Jen?
Last week of March.
How are you, Jen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. We're all right here. We're working. Maria Powell says, I'm late, but I'm thumbs up 155 today. Zeta State Option Nomads 24-month green bar. Option Nomads, time flies, huh? Splair, I guess I'll have a long beard when the time change will be history, says Splair. Tiff says, Aspire Global awarded National Oceanographic and Oceanic Administration contract for satellite weather data. We'd sure like to see that have an effect on the stock. Let's take a look at Spire. It is up a nickel to 74 cents. Smart ran up 1.5. Rocket Lab is up 20 cents. There was a positive article today about Rocket Lab being able to relaunch their Neutron rockets between 10 and 20 times each at a cost of $50 million a pop. And that is $15 million less than the satellite company that Elon Musk has. That came out this morning, and it's having an effect on Rocket Lab stock. Sexter is up a dime to 94. Matterport is up 3.5. ME up 3.9 cents. That's what's going on over there. We're down 50 on GameStop. Tesla's up 674. Apple up 21. Unity up 18 cents. Larry Titus says, good morning, Auntie Jen. Maria saying, Curly, good morning, Auntie Jen. Curly. The women won the bronze in the World Championships for the second year in a row.
Second year in a row. Switzerland won for their fourth year in a row.
The world champions 40 year in a row.
They
same rink.
Lost since 21.
A single game.
They
haven't lost a game since 2021. A game.
Wow. Though it was close. It was close. I would like to say that they didn't win the game. It was more like Norway lost.
There you go. Manager number 156. Thank you. Let's see. And good morning, Jen from Splair as well. Thank you, Splair. Guten Tag, everybody.
Locked up
Germany shut down. Oh my gosh, there's strikes going on over there. There's issues in France, issues in Israel, issues all over the place. We've had notifications here. Option Nomads member for 24 months, gold bagel level. After discovering this channel, it took us 8 months to actually start writing options. 8 months. But when we started, everything changed. The last 2 years have been amazing and life-changing. And this is a comment I get. Versions of this comment come my way every week.
It's a brand new language you're learning.
You're learning a brand new life. You're learning a new way to invest. And there's no question that the life for these two have changed immeasurably. And I'm so excited and proud of it. I love it. I just love it.
It's something.
Nathaniel Chamberlain, welcome to the Chillin' with Uncle Bruce member level. Welcome, Nathaniel, to the gang. Great to have you here. I think this is someone who's renewing, but I could be wrong. But if you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. JR, good morning, Auntie Jen. Curly. The curling rocks are being shown off here. Zeta State, Uncle Bruce, my Zim stock dividend is $6.40 on a $23 stock. I am now doing covered calls as per our one-on-one. Let's see how this goes. Right on, buddy. Golf Mom, I was assigned on 9 GameStop calls last week before I could roll them. I have 6 $20 Jan 24s left that I've written. Should I be looking to do something with these or just sit tight since they are Jan 24s? If you can do a roll up, fine, but otherwise I'd sit tight. The ones that where you were assigned, what you'll want to do is you'll be buying back the stock. You'll let the stock fall. If it's falling now a little back off, and then write 24s, 25s for June, July, August, September, October. Look for some dough, some nice dough here that will more than compensate you for this takeout. And way to go. Way to go. We never fear the exercise of stock. Mirko, welcome. Nathaniel, John Anderson, hello. Jen, Maria, Bama Babe, pull for my lady Gamecocks tonight. Basketball, the NCAA. Manager, staying out of the way of Kathy the Woodpecker, closed coin short with a small profit with $2,400. Nice. Nathaniel, Uncle Bruce, I watched your video last night. Should I be trying to roll out my GameStop 20s for April 21st. Yes, you want to take a look at those. See if you can go forward to like July, August, September, something like that. Can you move up to 22s? Can you go up, a couple of bucks or more? Can you even like write 21s or 22s with more money? In other words, whatever you're paying to buy the 20s, can you get more money than that? Writing further out contracts at a higher strike, and that way you win on the cash side now and on the strike price as well. Right. Double win. Welcome, Nathaniel. Good move. Bagel Babe, good to see you, Uncle Bruce. Good morning. Brian, Uncle Bruce, you might have missed my member update. 6 months was back when you were ranting. Right on. Thank you, buddy. Maria, welcome. Nathaniel, thank you, everybody. Flint Creek, charting my trades to keep track of profits. It's amazing. I love writing. I love writing. Susan Shops about number 160 on the thumbs up meter. Bruce, you're 40 away from 200, which is what you always go for every morning.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, I teach Jen.
So the women's curling is over. The Canadian mixed is over. The Canadian wheelchair is over.
Wheelchair curling.
We have to, this week is CBC Canada Reads for those who like to read. And then next week is the Men's World.
From? Ottawa, Canada.
So the times are a little better than coming out of Sweden.
Yeah, instead of Jen having to be up at 6 a.m. to watch the women curl, she can watch in a little more civilized time slot. Yes, and for the telecaster, which is the sports network in Canada, TSN, they too have the Eastern time zone now to worry about. It's much better.
For the final game, it wasn't even half full.
The audience, the game was held in, where were they playing? In Sweden?
Somewhere in Sweden.
I
can't tell you.
The women's championships were in Sweden. And for the final game, the championship match, the seats were half full.
Yeah.
And every second year, the women's championship and the men's championship, the world championships, are held in Canada every second year.
Because we pack the
Why? Sellouts. Sellouts for just round robin games are sold out.
Yeah.
And so the amount of money that the Curling Federation gets from Canadian television and from Canadian ticket buyers covers the cost of all these teams to travel and pays for curling development worldwide. Mm-hmm. It's huge. Canadians are the number one backer of curling worldwide. Absolute number one. Yeah. They're fanatical about it.
We turn out even in the small towns.
Oh, yeah.
And I shouldn't say it's small towns. The smaller cities
medium-sized
have held the world.
Medium-sized cities in Canada, like 200,000 people, like Red Deer, Alberta, will host the World Championships. They'll have 10,000 seats in their hockey arena, sold out for every game.
Yeah.
Every game. Now, if you have it in Calgary, 1.5 million people, you'll play the games, what we call it, the Saddledome, which is where the Calgary Flames play hockey. 20,000 seats. They might fill 15,000 of those for the big games. He's at $20 a ticket, $30 a ticket.
Yeah, you buy a tournament ticket.
You buy a tournament pass. Big money.
And lots of volunteers.
And volunteers to make this even more profitable, plus the television revenue. It's a huge business in Canada, and the International Curling Federation is going. Without Canada, we couldn't curl. There would be no international. I mean, it would be like small town bonspiels. It would be just a sad thing because even in Europe, they can't get crowds like they can. We loves our curling. There you go, Cindy B 163. Thank you, Cindy, for the 163rd thumbs ups. GameStop is down a whopping 62 cents right now at 23.36. Keep your eye on that. Those of you who have had some shares exercised, if you had options exercised, you're looking to buy stock back cheaper. And so 20 23.38 and falling.
Well, I'm going to leave
Anyway,
you.
there you are.
Coffee is calling my name.
Jen is walking up a storm now. We went for a big walk, a couple walks this weekend.
It.
Jen is going out there, babe. It's getting better all the time. Look out, she's getting stronger all the time.
My strong fist.
No, not yet. Only when it hits me on the side of the head. Thank you, Auntie Jen. Go Rugman. Go Rugman. VW. So they have matches in curling that they slide wheelchairs versus stones. I think that the rubberized tires, they wouldn't slide very well. Oh man, oh man, oh man. You'd have to look that up on YouTube to see wheelchair curling, how they do that. They even have curling for the blind. It's unbelievable. It's just I can't fathom it. Yeah, it is a serious sport. No question. Touch grass, Jen. We are so proud of your progress. We are really thrilled here. She is really coming around. Since she's had both of her knees given an injection, I think the steroid injection on each knee, pain-free. Now we can walk. She can walk even further. Her legs now, her legs and hip are strengthening, but after about 3-4 minutes of walking, she's breathing quite heavily. She's tired. She doesn't have the endurance level, and she's building that every day, bit a bit and a bit and a bit and a bit. When you're 67, you don't recover like a 27-year-old. But then again, 27-year-olds don't have massive arthritis in your hip, so it's one of those you got to fight it off. 23.10 on GameStop, down 88 cents, new low of the day for Golf Mom and anyone else that is short any stock. You'll look to buy it back at a cheaper price. You put in stink bids to see if you get the stock nice and cheap and write calls against it. Thank you very much. No problem at all. 23.08 is the low trade of the day now on GameStop. That's where we are right this second. 23.08, the low trade of the session, has now just been touched. 23.05, 23.02, down we go again on GameStop. All right. We'll follow it as we always do. It's what we're about. The Dow got up to 265 for the high, but it's now only up 215. We've got ATIP coming back, only down a tenth of a penny. We've got SoFi up 3 cents, Tesla up 5.19 to 195.60, Apple up 17 cents, Unity Software up 20 cents, HPQ up 17, First Republic Bank up $1.85 to 14.21. Google down 83 cents, Moderna down 3.97 right now. Cisco is up 27 cents, Pfizer's down 24, IBM is up 3.04, Microsoft up down 36 cents for Microsoft. ME is up a penny, Matterport down 2.5, Cyxtera up 9.5, Rocket Lab up 12.5, SmartRent down 3, Spire up 7. Bed Bath Beyond down 1.8 cents to 79.8. Amazon is up 47 cents to 98.60. Home Depot up 59 cents. Netflix up 5.65 to 3.34. Vanik up unchanged. Adobe up $1.09. Goldman up 6.43. Boeing up 2.22. Meta, Facebook down 1.40. AMC is down 3.5 and 6.5 for those preferreds and the commons. Royal Caribbean is up 76 cents. Carvana is down 42. Robinhood is up 2. BlackBerry up 3.5. Norwegian up 4. Carnival is up 17 cents, and they're bleeding money all over the place. 9.36 a share. There are no words. That can explain this. Target up 94 cents. JP Morgan up 2.15. Costco up 3.46. Walmart up 1.92. Disney up $1.12. Nvidia 33 cents to the good. American Airlines up a dime at 13.82. That's what we have happening here in this market, with the Dow now holding a 219 gain, backing up from that 265 opening run at the moment. Welcome all. Let's see. Splair, actually reading a headline about the riots against the Willow Oil Project in Alaska. When oil price gets expensive, those people start crying again. I don't know. Brian, the GameStop jumped off a cliff here. 23.06 is where I have it at the moment. The low of the session on GameStop now, 22.90 with a 23.09 last trade. So it got down to 22.90 there, down about $1 on the session. But this is typical GameStop reactions. This is how it rolls. We are not surprised. Volume of 1 million shares for the session, which is 250,000 pre-split. Very quiet at this point. Nothing like 66 million last week on one day alone. We've got SoFi at 578, up 4 cents, now at 580, up 6, with a high of 586. 4.19, almost 4.2 million traded on SoFi. Kind of typical there. Tesla at 196 after topping out at 197.39. We're 196.19. We'll see how we hold there, as these tax credits might be expiring here soon on Tesla. Apple up 21 cents to 160.46. Unity down 5 cents. HPQ up 16, and First Republic up 195. For those of you interested, the bank stocks are a little better today, which gave the Dow a bit of a good start. But I think we're beginning to see a little bit of consolidation here. We're up 2/3 of a percentage point on the Dow. NASDAQ is trying to match it. It's now up almost a half a percentage point. So it's better on the NASDAQ, a little weaker on the Dow. The markets are kind of half a point to 2/3 of a point higher-ish. Oil up 129 right now at 70.53. Headline, oil prices buoyed by optimism about banks. What a bunk announcement. That is garbage. That's a stupid headline. It has nothing to do with it whatsoever. Absolutely nothing to do with it. It's just speculators trying to run the market. They're trying to create hype. They're thinking now, well, we didn't get everyone excited about the winter season because it wasn't bitterly cold in Europe like it was supposed to be. So let's get everybody hyped up about the summer driving season in the United States. It is always an excuse for the oil guys to try to run the market on oil. And what they don't want to admit is the world is drowning in it. Oil is everywhere. And those in the know are aware. And that's why we aren't at $130 a barrel, $60 short of where they want it. But they're being paid to shill it. And so the promotion keeps going. Manager Hindenburg is saying SQ is crooked, while Kathy Woodpecker said it is not. Who to believe? Vested interest. Should I go with Hindenburg and short SQ? I don't even know what SQ is. I don't know who Hindenburg is. I think I know who you're talking about with Kathy Woodpecker. That's all I know. I got nothing for you, man. I have no idea who these people are and what the deal is about. You're on your own there. 211 gain on the Dow. GameStop 23.08 down 90. ATIP at 30.3 cents a share, down 1/10 of a penny on 11,600 shares. There is nothing happening on ATIP this morning. There was good news on Rocket Lab, perceived good news over there. I was happy about that. I noticed that the stock on Rocket Lab is up 13 cents to 406. The shares have traded almost $1 million today. They got up to 416 already today, a dime higher than this. 398 the low, 416 the high, now 406 last trade. Rocket Lab, the story on Rocket Lab is that their Neutron rocket, what they're using now to launch multiple satellites, they launched a satellite off of Virginia, then they launched a satellite within a week, or another rocket, I should say, within a week out of the Pacific Ocean. They are increasing their launches for this year, and they're looking to bring in about $50 million a launch using the Neutron rocket, which makes them very cost competitive for low orbit satellite launches. And SpaceX, who is I was thinking about, the Elon Musk SpaceX, they are 30% cheaper than SpaceX to use to get rockets up into space. They are gaining market share, and they're getting a lot of orders to launch rockets. So they're building out how many Neutron rockets they will have and operate, and they are also reusing them now with a splashdown technique where the rockets splash into the oceans, they recover it, and then reutilize it again. So they've decided to do that instead of trying to recapture them using helicopters. Far more reliable, just to perfect it for ocean recovery. That's what I know. That's what I'm aware of on these systems. They're talking about $50 million a launch between 10 and 20 launches per neutron rocket to recycle them up to 20 times over, which means $1 billion in gross revenue per rocket construction and the maintenance of each one in between launches. This is called making money. These guys will make money at this pace. And if they can get 4 or 6 or 8 or 10 of these going at the same time, each good for $1 billion per launch life cycle, up to that, we're talking about a company that will generate billions and billions of revenue dollars here with no shortage of satellites to launch into space. This is interesting for Rocket Lab, and they're not cash poor. They are cash rich right now, over 400 million on hand. Their entire capitalization is $1.9 billion. They've got almost 500 billion in cash on hand. Over a quarter of the company is cash, and they're backed up with orders to launch satellites. That's the story on Rocket Lab. Pretty cool bean stuff, to say the least. ME up 1.5, Matterport down a penny, Sextera's up 5.5, SmartRent down 1.5, and Spire's up 6.2 cents. Apparently, they've got an oceanic contract. We don't know what the numbers are for Spire, but I know that Spire keeps signing up these large government contracts that require secrecy, discretion, the transfer of data, military-wise, and everything else. These guys keep getting these contracts, and I have a suspicion that Spire will eventually have so many contracts going, they're going to be viewed as like a cable company, like a utility. You have to have them if you have satellites in space. You got to use these guys because everyone else is using these guys. This is one of those companies that will just keep adding contracts and contracts and contracts to their arsenal, and they will keep increasing their cash flows accordingly. And each new contract, they don't need to figure out how to handle satellites. They don't need to worry about how to transmit the data. They don't need to hire a whole bunch of people to handle the workload. They're already there. They've already got all this stuff. So every contract that gets added to the order book of Spire is pure profit. To take this company from losing a few pennies per quarter to now making money per quarter and adding to it. So their turnaround is getting closer every quarter, but until they can bring out that press release that says we now make money, we're under $1 right now, and we're at 75 cents a share, which is cheap, but they haven't yet. They are not able to say we now are a profitable corporation. I know there are analysts who are waiting to announce this at any time. Just you let us know when you turn the corner. They're that close. They really are that close. But that's all I can tell you. That's all I got. I got nothing else. Anyway, there you have it. Brian, Uncle Bruce, you should really be in manager's head and know exactly what he's doing all the time. Credit Savage, Bank of America's reshuffle lending unit employees and his trimming staff. Interesting. I thought they were the big boys and nothing was wrong there. What happened? Yeah, manager, I'm on a prowl for a shorting candidate. Let me know an overhyped stock to scalp. That's what I'm looking for right there. Rock and roll, buddy. Rock and roll. All right, where are we at now? We're up 197 on the Dow. We're at 23.19 to 23.20 on GameStop. We're still off 79 cents. ATIP at 30.03, down 1/10 of a penny. SoFi up a nickel at 5.78. Tesla 196.66, up 6 1/4. Apple 160.55, up 30 cents. Apparently, Tim Cook is in China right now. Arrived there the other day, talking about the importance of China to Apple, Apple to China. This is right after the congressional hearings last week, where the Congress of the U.S. was nailing that TikTok guy for the China connection. Here's Tim Cook in China, where 93% of everything Apple has is made and manufactured and imported into America. The all-American company, Apple, in China, big time. This morning, I heard and saw an article about Jack Ma. You remember Jack Ma? he created Alibaba. You remember Alibaba? It was the Wall Street darling stock about 10 years ago. That public offering was the largest public offering of stock in the history of the New York Stock Exchange. The China Amazon, the China Amazon is what it was called. And he was a hero to Wall Street. He was a hero in London. He was a hero in Frankfurt. And he traveled the world to espouse the virtues of Alibaba and trading with China and doing business. Anyway, he was quoted as commenting on the Chinese banking system about 2 years ago. He was voicing concerns about the Chinese economic model and Chinese banks and a few other things, and he was talking about how antiquated they were and out of touch with the real modern world of banking. And interestingly enough, we didn't hear anything from Jack Ma for quite some time. As a matter of fact, we did hear that Chinese authorities were investigating Alibaba and other entities that he was running for fraudulent activities against the Chinese government, and they extorted $2.5 billion out of his butt after he was put under house arrest. Although he was resting at the time, they say he was just resting. He's a very tired guy. All that travel he'd been doing, he needs to rest a while. So they got $2.5 billion out of him for a bribe, so he could get out of the country. He went to China, went to Japan for 1.5 years, and is now returned to China with reassurances that entrepreneurs are more than welcome to be in China. There's no need to stay away from China, and maybe you can create jobs again, because apparently the banking system in China is a mess and has been shown to be completely antiquated and is trillions in the hole, and the Chinese real estate market has imploded on itself and has caused tremendous problems within China. But not that Jack Ma was right in his predictions of said system. It just happened to be a coincidence, just a coinkydink. But Jack now is welcome back to China. Apparently he was in Shanghai, he was in Hong Kong, and all is well, and it's all good now. But apparently when publications reached out to Jack for comment about returning to China for the first time in 2 years, there was no comment being given by Jack Ma or any of the public companies that he represents. No one is available for any comment of any kind with regard to how Jack and where Jack is and what Jack's doing, what's going on. No, nothing. So I suspect that there might have been a few slight indications of the kind of behavior that one would expect from Jack Ma if he were to return to China. The sort of do's and don'ts would be sort of laid out for Jack and his friends. And at the moment, he's adhering to the do's and don'ts. One of the don'ts is speaking. Don't use this to do anything. Just shut the hell up and disappear in China, and there won't be any issues. Apparently, that seems to be the way it went down. I don't know. Interesting. I wouldn't touch any Chinese stocks. I don't know why anyone would trust the books of Chinese corporations. I just don't get it. What kills me, of course, is how many American and Canadian corporations are willing to do business with these guys right now. Any business you want to do, I'm there for you, because they're not necessarily thinking from a nationalistic point of view. They're business people. They're like The Godfather. It's not personal. It's just business. So there you go. Tim Cook's in China. What can I say? Tim Cook is in China, flew over on Apple's private airplane. One of many they have, by the way. There you go. It's all good. It's all good. There's nothing to see here. Constantine, number 171. Thank you very much. Thank you. Susan Shops about my question of the morning is when a stock moves fast, up or down, time of the essence for us to be in and out of positions. Do we buy back right at bid ask prices? Do we stink bid? Whatever. You always have stink bids in play if you want. If you've written GameStop calls that are 25s and the stock is now at 22.96, 22.95 while I'm talking to you, down $1.03, and you wrote calls for $5 and you want to buy them back for around $2, you put in a 201 stink bid. That might be 70 cents below where they're trading at. They might be trading at $2.75 to $3. You put in a 201 stink bid. You never know if you get hit. You never know until you got them. Why wouldn't you do that? If you want to write a call, trying to write a 23 or a 24 or a $25 call on GameStop for August or September, or I don't know what month. You're trying to get $4, $3.75. I don't know what price. You're trying to get a top dollar. Why don't you put an offer in there $1 higher than what the market is trading at, but make it a stink offer? So instead of offering something at $4, offer it something for $3.95 or $3.99. Instead of offering something at $5.50, make it $5.45. But you might be $1 away from the market. That's okay. The stocks can move $1.50 in 15 minutes. GameStop can move. So be ahead of the stock with stink bids, stink offers all the time. Yes, Constantine, thank you. Brian, Susan Shops about good question. I found the stink bids haven't been hitting lately in my last rolls. Most of them I did not. Stink bid went a little closer to the middle of the bid ask. Still made money. Sometimes you're thinking too short term. Sometimes you're thinking, oh, I got to get a fill in an hour. I got to get a fill now. I got to get a fill. Other times you've got to just put a stink bid in there and just fold your arms and wait a couple of days. Stink bids are not hurry up and buy something or stink offers. This is the price I want. Come to me. You pay me what I want. Otherwise, you don't get it. That's the deal sometimes. Manager, I've taken a short position in SQ. Let's see if I can make the goal of the day. Touch grass, set your stinkies. That's it, kids. Set your stinkies to stun. There you go, everybody. Hope you're having a good time out there. SQ apparently is called Block Inc. I'm going to guess that this is a bank of some kind. I don't even know who they are. Engages in creating ecosystems for distinct customer audiences. What? Operates through the Square and Cash App. There's Square and Cash App. Square segment provides businesses the ability to accept card payments. Cash App segment provides ecosystem financial products and services to help consumers manage their money. It's founded by Jack Dorsey and James Morgan. There you go. Headquartered in San Francisco. That's what this is. Block Inc. SQ is Squarespace. Square. That's where that comes from. SQ. Now I get it. I don't follow these guys, so I cannot give you my humble opinion on anything to do with this company. I don't follow these guys. So there you go. We're at $23 on GameStop, it would appear. The low of the day today has been $22.90. We're right within a dime of the low of the day. Right there. That is the story, everybody, and I'm sticking to it. We're down 180 we're up 180 on the Dow. We're backing up on the Dow. We're up 17 on S&P. We're only up 30 on NASDAQ. NASDAQ's up 1/4 point. S&P up 0.45 and the Dow up 0.58. These are all lower than before. Okay. Barron's has a headline, Tesla's delivery data coming soon. This number could lift the stock, or maybe the numbers coming from Tesla will be such that, yes, the numbers were higher last quarter, but now with the tax thing ending by Thursday of this week, maybe this stock is about to take a tanking because their order numbers could drop off by 10 or 15%, and that could really cause a problem. What about if that happens? They might have to reduce the price of their car by $5,000 to make up for the fact that their tax break might be less. I don't know. I'm asking. I'm wondering. This headline, do you believe it? I don't know if you want to believe it. I'm not sure if you do want to believe this number, this headline. It might be bad news coming for Tesla, not good news. I don't know. We're going to find out. The stock is certainly telling me something. At 195.50, it's not even getting to 200 now. there isn't even any anticipation of good stuff coming here. This $5 gain is a nothing burger on Tesla. You got to give me $20 gains to really convince me the street believes something good is about to happen. So far, it's not being indicative. $22.94 on GameStop. We're 4 cents away from the low of the day again on GameStop. $22.90 is the low. $22.96, $22.94 is what we seem to be trading at right now. ATIP is up 2/10 of a penny. It's gone green, 30.6 cents, but only 12,000 traded. No volume, and it's green. SoFi 578 up 4. Tesla up 534. Apple down a penny, gone red. Unity up 8 cents. That's the story at the moment on some of these stocks we follow. $22.92. We're 2 pennies away from the low of the day on GameStop. Will we hit $22.90 and bust through it down to $22.75? We're down 104 right now, and we're going to find out if there's more selling coming in on this stock. The Credit Savage, that's my cue, buying some SQ now, cheap at 63. I love my San Francisco companies. Splitter, I think after the show I'll go for a nap, so just in case you all have an enjoyable and successful day. Thank you, Splitter. And you have a great one yourself, buddy. Nice to have you here as always. From Dortmund in Deutschland. Nice to have you around. What is going to happen with this market, kids? That is the question. What's GameStop going to do? Oh, we're going to find out soon enough. We've got, again, thank you, those of you who have been, like Nathaniel, joining our channel today. Those of you who've been alerting us how long you've been members of the channel. Thank you all so much. We have 179 thumbs ups today. With 9 minutes to go before our 2-hour time frame comes up, thank you for getting me this close to 200 thumbs ups. If you can hit that thumbs up button right now, nail it for us, give us a bit of momentum, that would be great. $22.92 on GameStop with a $22.90 low of the day, 2 pennies away from the low set of the session on GameStop. That is the deal. Interesting. Shorting more SQ now, says manager. There you go. We're at 30.6, up 2/10 of a penny on ATIP. We're up 3 cents on SoFi. Tesla 195.93, up 5.52. Apple unchanged on our session now as we are going forward here. GameStop is still holding $22.92 to $22.96, $22.94. $22.90 is the low on GameStop so far today. Everybody. Whoo-wee, a volume on GameStop, 1.45 million. This is not enough to hold this market. We are not going to see 10 million shares today trade. We'll be lucky to see 5. So this is coming back in volume. Not good for the upward movement of the stock at the moment. It could change, yeah, but doesn't look like it's happening here. Anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you for those of you who caught my video this weekend. I think it was on Saturday I made a video about GameStop. Thank you for those who caught that video. I hope you liked it. Giving it a thumbs up, so I do appreciate that. We got some good traction from YouTube on that video, and that is definitely helping the channel get exposure. We love it when that happens. Thank you all so very, very much. Good stuff. We now have thumbs ups 186. We need 14 more to hit 200 today. Thank you for a little surge there of thumbs ups. 187 now, 13 to go. We have 7 minutes to get 13 thumbs ups to hit 200 before my 2-hour time limit shows up. Thank you all so much. Again, those of you who are taking classes, way to go, everybody. Any of you out there would like to have a one-on-one session with me, just send me a private email at brucefromert.hotmail@hotmail.com. That's right here. Send me a private email. Let me know when would you like to have a session. Anytime, Monday to Friday, between 1, 2, and 3 Eastern time. I can do 1-hour sessions. If you'd like a session for Sunday, you can certainly book one of those for 10 a.m., noon, or 2 in the afternoon, all Eastern times. Let me know if anyone would like to do that. We'll be happy to accommodate you. We'll try to book you a time that'll work for you. That'll be great. Let's see here. Dude Face, Uncle Bruce, I'm playing third. What is it? Third chess here. Rolled a GameStop 17 September to a 25 December. After the math on the profit and cost, the original right after the new right, I brought in 145 and I raised my strike price. Well done. Nicely raised your strike price. I like that. Love the new video. I'm giving you thumbs up on all these shorts. You're putting out excellent work. Thank you, my friend. Touchgrass, GameStop trying to recover more from earnings momentum. Thank you. Home Skill, great weekend. Chocobus, as always, many thanks. Maria, I really like the new videos. Slayer, I love the information and presentation of it in that video. Thank you all so much for these kind words. Hit those thumbs up button for us as well. 192 now. We only need 8 more thumbs ups, and we will have 200 for the morning show. We have 5 minutes to go to get 8 thumbs ups. We're so close. Thank you, everyone. 22.93 on GameStop. At the moment, the low of the day, though, 22.86. We've touched the new low. We're at 22.90. 22.86 is the low of the session now on GameStop. So a little more selling has come in on that one. We're following it closely. We're up 4 cents on SoFi. Tesla's only up 4.75 now. Apple's red 17 cents lower. Unity down 7. There it is. So we've got some selling coming in. The Dow up 183 only, and NASDAQ only up 28.9. We're dropping off on this session. 4 minutes to go, and we're done for our session. We have 197 thumbs ups, 3 away from 200. Thank you, everybody, for getting us this close to the promised land for these thumbs ups. Thank you all so much. Rocket Lab holding a 7-cent gain. SoFi up a couple of cents. 22.81 on GameStop. New low of the session now. Another nickel lower here. AMC is down about 14 cents combined. Matterport down a penny. 23andMe up 1.5 cents. Spire up 4.8. ATIP up 1.5. 1.15. Pardon me. 15 hundredths of a penny. Smart Rent down half a penny. Not much change here. Cyxtera is up 5.6 cents. Apple down 7. Goldman up 5.54. Cisco up 23. Tesla up 4.89. Arc Innovations up 42 cents. Microsoft down 30. Bed Bath Beyond down 2.8. Pfizer down 16. Hewlett Packard HPQ up 9. Carvana down 52 cents to 7.67 again. We're down 126 on Google, 104.81. Amazon is up 94. NVIDIA up 41 cents and Unity down 3 cents right now. That is the story of this market, everyone. Thank you. 22.84 on GameStop. 22.81, the low of the day. 22.84 last trade now on GameStop. We're pushing newer lows every few minutes, one after the other. Manager, I'm already green on my SQ short. Pump it up, cheerleaders. Larry Titus, thumbs ups for Bruce. Mr. Premium, 201, also just got back from spring break, courtesy of the option premiums. 201 thumbs ups, Bruce. We are at 204. Thank you all. We're just 2 minutes away from the 2-hour mark, and we have broken 200 thumbs ups. You guys are incredible every single day. Thank you, all of you, live and on the rerun. I appreciate this, as you know. Thank you all. We are getting close to the 2-hour mark. Thank you all. 22.78 now on GameStop. Another new low of the session here. 22.70 has been recorded already as a low, and so we're now pushing as low as 128 lower on the session so far today. And the volume here, 1.6 million. There's no volume here, only a couple 100,000 more, and it went down again. It's going lower. So those of you who have been exercised, it's getting cheaper to buy your stock back. Those of you who have written new calls this morning, 23s, 25s, 24s, 25s, way to go. You're already winning here. Those who wrote options last week, there's no upside to fear so far today. These shares coming back to you. Way to go, everybody. Get ready. Look for rollovers if you can. However it works for you. Beautiful stuff. I love it. 577 on SoFi. We're up 450 on Tesla at 194.98. We're under 195 now. Apple down 28 cents. So we're dropping here on that big stock. Richard, neat. Maria, neat. Thank you all for the knee emojis. Those of you who have popped in here all morning, thank you so much for being a follower of this channel, being a subscriber, being a member. Thank you for the knee attacks. Neat. The Knights of Knee, thank you. They make the market work in your favor. Congratulations, all of you option writers. Way to go, guys. You're making money. 22.79, 22.76 on GameStop as we are beginning to approach this 22.70 mark again for the low of the session on GameStop shares. That is the story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you all for being here today and following this YouTuber. It is much appreciated. Nico, thank you. Larry Titus, the knee attacks are spreading. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate for that. Let's see how we go. 22.70. This is the low of the day now on GameStop, I think, here. Yep, we're at the low right now, down 128 on GameStop shares. We are at 22.70. SoFi only up a penny. We're at 194.65 on Tesla, up 424. Apple now down 53 and falling again. The Dow up only 157. It's backing up. We've got S&P up 11. The Nasdaq's only up 5 points. John A. Anderson, thank you, everybody. Neat emojis over there as well. Thank you, my friend, all of you who've been able to help out with this day's trading for everything. Appreciate it. My half of my computer is frozen, half is running. So I don't know how it's going out there. We're at 22.77 now on GameStop. Okay, everybody, we'll keep an eye on this market with you. Keep an eye open for new videos from yours truly. And you never know when I'll go live next. I'll definitely be live on my other channel tonight at 7 and 8 o'clock Eastern on Traveling with Bruce. We'll keep you posted on what's going on over here. Keep making money on your options. Do your rollovers. Congratulations to you new class spires. Way to go! If you bought a class lately, you're picking up the classes to learn how to write options. You will be well rewarded, I am sure. Congratulations, each and every one of you, option class takers and option writers. Take the dough. They're dying to give you over there at that option floor. Robert Benson, number 205. Thank you. Credit Savage. Neat. Thank you, Credit Savage. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being here today. And thanks to those of you making PayPal donations. You're the gift that just keeps on giving. Thank you all so much. You know who you are out there, and we notice. Thank you. Manager, just need 550 more, and I will close the SQ short with a profit of $500 when it drops to 63. Folding arms and shorting here and there. Right on, Manager. Keep making money. See how it goes for you. 22.80 on GameStop. Let's keep an eye on these markets. Thank you all for all your support today and these thumbs ups today. Much appreciated. We'll catch you definitely tomorrow morning. Don't miss it. And those of you joining money on my other channel, we'll catch you over there too. Thank you, TJ. You have a great day yourself. Everybody, thank you, and bye from Palm Desert.